y'all, it's Christine, and it is time to make my wintering journal. I'm so excited. It's a tradition I do every year. Kind of crept up on me today because it got colder than we expected. Very excited about it. I had a great day. Had to get out a little bit, so we ended up going to a new bookstore where I'm reading this book, Migrations. Is it doing well? Okay, you can see it. Went to Good on Paper, female-owned independent bookstore in the Heights. If you're in the area, you should check it out. Very cool. And also stopped by, they have a really cute toy store. Big blue whale, and this baby, this Jellycat baby with the star. Christmas tree for me for my desk. I think she looks like an over decorated cupcake in the best possible way. Love her. So she's right here. So super cute toy store. Also recommend that. That was really fun to do today. So I have a couple traditions in my life. I grew up in a religious tradition and now I'm not in one. And one of the things I found is I need to have certain rituals because they just help me understand the passage of time. They help me, what's the word with my feelings? Regulate my feelings, but not just regulate, but also like feel the flow of seasons and things like that. So one of my traditions, catch my breath. One of my traditions is I read the first day it gets cold here, which for those of you in other places, it's probably not even cold for you guys. It was like in the 50s today, whoo, and wet. But it was like, feels like 40 something. For us, that's like legitimately cold. I still have my fan on me, of course, because I am me. But this is so good. It's about only one chapter in. I've wanted to read it, but I didn't get it one time because it seemed too wintry. And I was like, ooh, that'd be a good wintering book. So I got it today and I've read a chapter already. And then I had an unexpected dinner guest, so I didn't read as much as I was going to, but I'm very excited to keep reading it. It's very, very good. It's got me sucked in already. It's about a woman who is trying to follow the migration of the last of the Arctic terns, which sounds very grim, and I guess it is in some ways, but it's also, I'm a huge fan of women who go on some kind of science adventure that also has to do with their personal life. So this one is fiction. She's Australian, the character. She was born to an Irish mother. She is in Greenland. We just met her in Greenland, and we've jumped back to her childhood now. And her childhood was in Ireland and she loved to be outside. So that's all I know so far, but I love it. So that's one of my traditions, is to read a wintering book when it gets cold. And then the wintering tradition. This book, I want to say I started reading it in 2020. And it is just, is it glaring on y'all? No, good. Gorgeous book. Love it so much. I read it every winter now. And I'm just going to so hopefully you can't even stop it and see, I have written all over this book. Okay. And when I read it, I also, after the first year, I started taking notes in a journal. It's about a woman who, through health issues, through her child having issues at school, then the pandemic, all these things happen. And I don't even know if the pandemic happens in this book, but what she realizes is that sometimes things happen in all our lives where we feel like we've just fallen through the cracks. Like everybody else was still going, and we're just in our own world of whether it's suffering or illness treatment or someone's lost a job or someone's moving, or it's just all these things that can happen that we often take as failures, but really happen to all of us. And so one of the big things she says is, as you're wintering, as you're learning to create your nest where you have to get through it, we have to share the wisdom of our wintering with others. And so one of the things, the wisdom I've learned from her, is that you can't fight the blizzard. And I have chronic illnesses. And so, but one of the things you do is you get out your comfiest blanket and you make sure you have your food and you have all your stuff together for the blizzard. And so that's one of the things I really apply to my life, is I know if certain symptoms are coming, I get together the things that I know will help me. And if nothing, sometimes things don't help, but they comfort, right? So love this book. But every year for the past, this will be the third year that I've made, let me see the date. The first year I read it was in 2021. and I was recovering from my second hip surgery. So, and then I've read it, so what, 2021, 22, 23, 24, this will be 25. Okay, so this is my 5th year, and I've made a journal for it, I think 3 years to actually write about it, because it's getting quite full in there. And it's an interesting thing to look at too. Like at some point, I was looking at watching Megan and the Moon today, and she was talking about how she had to get rid of certain memories that she had because they were too hard to look at. And I will say sometimes looking back at what I've written can be difficult. So I've thought about getting another copy. My sister got me a beautiful copy. Not just my sister, but my sister and her friend made sure they got me the copy that was the British version that's gorgeous. So I may start reading that one this time and write notes in that one and then kind of look back. So, the notes don't overlap. I haven't decided, but either way, I need a journal. So I've prepared a bit ahead of time because I knew it was coming, hopefully. And I do have this book, The Call of the Wild. I have some colors that I thought, I saw someone do this once getting ready for a, some kind of like, they're getting ready for some, like what do you call it? Oh my gosh, the word is left me. Like a party, like spreading out napkins. And I was like, that's the coolest. I thought these colors might go nicely. These are just some paint chips. And when my dear friend sent me some beautiful papers in different colors of blue that I thought would be really nice with this. I have the book stack itself. Oh, I have this card, which I thought of using, but now, sneak peek, I think it's gonna go on here. Another day. And then I have prepared it in that I've just put some muslin down with, I think PVA glue. And this is a Reader's Digest book that I covered. I already got a spot of schmutz on it, but I covered it with some like colored denim and some soft, this looks like burlap, but it's soft. I wish you could touch it. Jack London, The Call of the Wild, I read this in 10th grade. And I remember being really mesmerized by it. It was a brutal book, but it was really, I really liked it. So I thought, well, this is a good wintering one because always cold. Excuse me, just a second. I do need to take out my tea bag. I didn't want to have to get up in the middle of this because I'm kind of on a time crunch. So I'll put this to the side. I'm very much an herbal tea at night person. And in the morning, I love a chai with milk. So we need to put some pages in here. I need to make some signatures. It's kind of got a nice thick cover because it's got that on the front. I like it. I don't mind that the flowers show. I like it. So we need to make some pages. So let's use the book block as our guide. I was thinking these would go kind of like this, maybe to start a signature. I'm going to try to use my new staple board because this is a short-term journal, right? I use this just during the winter, which in Texas is not long. And in fact, I often am still writing and finishing up the read of wintering by the time it's spring. But some interesting things have come out of it for me, like nesting in the house and making things really comfy and cozy. And also thinking of new traditions. The birds leave here, even here, and when they come back in the spring, there'll be a day that I'll notice sometime in February, March, which, sorry if you're in other places that are very cold, but that for us is spring. And I'll hear the birds that have been gone. And I call that Happy Bird Day. And so we plant something or go listen to birds. So that's a fun tradition. So just kind of thinking of traditions, connecting myself back to the natural world, because if you have a chronic illness or people you love have them, you very quickly realize how connected we are to the natural world. We would like to think we're not, but the barometric pressure changing, humidity going up and down, a storm coming, the temperature, all these things can really impact physical symptoms. And so it's suddenly very, very clear that we are part of this incredible planet and we are not separate from it. So that's just kind of a cool journey I've been on. So let's make some pages. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm almost out of coffee dyed paper. So I have some of this composition book paper, which I don't really want to lose how grungy it is. So I think this will be some kind of pocket situation. And maybe even, okay, I will measure hate measuring. I hate measuring because I feel like I set myself up for messing up the measuring. It's a confidence thing. I need to just embrace it. And then the thing, like, you know, this is what, 4 and 14/16, which, okay, I teach fractions, 14/16 to 7/8, right? 4 and 7/8. Okay, 4 and 7/8 by, and again, I will do myself a favor and write this down. I'm gonna find something that's a little more scratch paper-ish. I am gonna put the 14/16 because that's easier for me to see. Just, it is, okay, so I'll just leave it at that. So here we have 7 and just under 7 and a half. 7 1/4. I wish you guys could feel brain fog. I mean, I don't wish anybody could feel it, but I know how to do this, and my brain is just stopped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's 5/16. So when I say it is almost a half, I mean it. Okay, so 7 and 5/16, up and down, across. Okay, now let me actually measure the book to see if I can get away with having it a little bigger so I don't have to stress about minute measurements. You see what I mean? So with this slide, it's kind of weird. All right, so this is, I could get away with 7 and a half. It would be right to the edges, but I could get away with 7 and a half, which I probably will do. I could also get away that's not gonna work. With 5 1/4. What? What? Why is the book block so much shorter? That's so interesting, y'all. That is a short, oh, because it didn't go in this book. Okay, this was a separate book. Well, there you go. Okay. I was watching somebody conserve a book at the Library of Congress, and I have loved teaching, and so I could not ever undo that because I love talking and talking to kids and being with kids and all of those things. Let's do 5 1/4. So but watching people conserve books, reading this amazing book, End Papers, all these things, I think, oh, maybe I could have done a different career. Okay, but I also wanted to be a meteorologist. I would love to study sharks. You know, it's just so much to do, right? What an interesting world we live in. Okay, so let's do this. Let's make this one. What did I say? 5 1/4. I find this part a bit tedious. I'm not gonna act like I don't. I swear, all the dust and stuff. I never cough and stuff as much as I do making books. Maybe I should wear a mask or something. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I like it. And that, excuse me. Okay, sorry, a little coughing fit there. Now I have a cough drop. See how that goes. Okay. Fold this in. Okay, perfect. So that will be on one of the signatures. I love the grunginess. Okay. And I may put you on, I'll show you how I measure. Because I'm not gonna talk anything about myself. You can watch a person in real life measure. And then I might pause it and finish up the measuring solo. So here's another one of those big pages. And the big. And what do we do with that? We folded it in half. And move forward, about the red line-ish. Make it a little smaller. It was cold enough today to have our fireplace going for us, which was very exciting. Okay, so there's 2 of those. Now I'm gonna do I'm looking at this thinking 3 signatures. I feel like people generally do odd numbers. That's not true. Some people do 6. Well, how many of these do we have? I am going to use my little stapler thing, so I have to think about how that's going to staple on. Because I could do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be 6. Could do that. Yikes, 6 feels overwhelming. I cannot lie. Because this is not a journal I write like the most in. It's a specific time period journal. And yet I don't want to choose like that. Okay, what about 1, 2, 3? And maybe these can go in the middle. Yes, okay. Okay. So, well, 3 signatures. We said they need to be 7.5 tall. So I'm gonna end up with a lot of strips here. Okay. So you guys probably know that there is a little thing on the back of the cutter, the Tim Holtz. I will move my T so that you can cut longer lengths. Let's just do this. And I'm gonna try not to be precious. This is paper I've had for a while, so let's do 5 sheets of signature and just see how it feels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're gonna need more than that. Let's cut 5 at a time and go from there. So we have, first we need it to be 5 1/4 long, which is 10.5, right? And then 7, yeah, okay. So let's find the best edges are on this side. I don't want to cut them off. Of course, I think I'm gonna use the decal cutter. Oh me, oh my. Okay, let's just do it, okay. 10.5. I'm gonna make it like 1 tick smaller. We'll see how it goes. You can always decal cut, right? And now we need to do 5 1/4. That's not right. 7.5. Wow, were you guys screaming? Were you like, don't do it? Don't do it. Bueno. Yes. I like it. Okay. So we'll definitely need more than that. So let's do a bunch. Let's do 5. I did like how that cut though. Let's do 5 at a time. This one is so gored that let's make this into some kind of, like, maybe this will be another one of those pockets. This one's pretty too. Isn't it fun when you find your own stuff and you're like, that's so pretty? Oh, sorry. Not sorry. I just looked up and saw this, so I smiled and went, aw. Okay. This is from the drying rack. Can you tell the cookie sheet? I don't know if I want to use these two. They're two different. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellente. Let's do our 10 and a half. Yes, 10 and a half. Seven and a half. We'll cut that edge off. That's pretty edge. 7 and a half. Now, the other confounding variable we have here is that I want to use the stapler, and I think the stapler is going to struggle with this many pages. I guess we could try it out and see, shall we? Shall we see? Because this would be a 20-page. It's like 40. What? Anyway. 1, 2, 3. That'd be enough of these, especially because I'm going to put little special bits in there. I'm nervous, y'all. I can always make another. What do you call it? Signature, right? Yeah, so if you did not know, that was on the bottom of your cutter, or how to use it. Now you know. Okay, so I got some muslin for this project. I was looking for, I don't even remember what I was looking for. This is much fancier than what I usually use. I usually just use a book cloth, but I figured why not. I'll keep that for my junk journal. Okay, so I'm gonna have to make the decision now because 1, 2, 3. Something fell. 1, 2, 3. Nothing worrisome, don't worry. I guess we'll just do 3 because I'm gonna glue the book cloth down to this. So I don't mind. I'm gonna cut 2 because I don't want to deal with this whole unfolding mess. And I use lots of Reader's Digest journals, so well, maybe I do want to unfold it. I'm gonna take that back. This cough drop was working. Not sick either. Just, well, I hope I'm not. Just dusty. Okay. Let's put this away. It's very, does not feel very nice. I prefer the book cloth, I have to say. I cannot chat while I do this. It's too fussy. Okay. There's fussy cutting. And there's fussy cutting. We'll keep that as scrap because that looks like, well, it is part of bookbinding. Okay. So I'll cut this on its edge here. Okay. So here we have our piece of muslin that will eventually get stapled in. So now I need to mark it. I'm gonna mark it. I don't want to mark it with a pencil because then you can see it. I wonder how much of a score I can make on it, because then I can do the one in the middle first. This is when I get nervous, because this is when you're like committing, right? You're like, this is just how this book is gonna look. All right, that's the very middle. And that is clear. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we're gonna take one of our books, our signatures. The one in the middle, I think I want I'll start with this one. I just do. I have no real deep rhyme or reason why. I just want to. I think I'm going to do it here so that we get a staple here and a staple here. That bothers me. I don't like that. I feel like I guess I could staple it kind of close in. Do I dare do 2 staples, y'all? I do not know. 1, 2. Let's just try. Let's see. And we have to do it right here. Wait, this is the middle. I want the middle to be the snowflake because we're most likely to have ice or snow in the, like mid-winter, January or February. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna put this in place. Let's just see if this even staples, because this will determine if this is going to get done tonight or not. Because I've already started the process of wintering by choosing a book to read to celebrate the cold weather and get into that vibe and just lean into it. That's a lot of what the book wintering is about, like leaning into the circumstances you have. Still trying to make them better, you know, not just accepting that everything's terrible, but like this idea that there's only so much you can do. So she goes around the world. She thought she was going to write a book about how different societies winter, literally. And then, metaphorically, this whole wintering idea came up. But she did actually go and, like, is it Finland maybe? She goes and she talks to her friend, and the friend's like, oh, in Finland, we start getting ready for winter in August. She's like, because you have to get things ready to go, and you have to, you know, you can't just assume you're going to be ready. You have to get out your clothes and switch out your wardrobe, and, you know, just a sweater or jacket doesn't work. I think for any of us who've gone through really huge life challenges, just that, you know, metaphorically, just a sweater or a jacket does not work. You know, we've got to change our whole view of how we cope. So this is the issue. Where are the staples? Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 staples, y'all. So I could, in theory, without trying to dig around and find my staples, because I'm afraid I've knocked them on the floor. I will be completely honest with you. Let's see if we can do 2. How did I do this on the video when I did it, y'all? Does it really find itself? It does. Weird. That's wild, you guys. It finds its little home here. Those are some strong magnets. Yeah, that's it. All right. Did you guys get to do that as thing in high school where you found out how magnets will move under desks? I don't know why that's just the most, like, one of my pivotal magical experiences of being a kid. Okay. These clips are getting in my way. I'm gonna have to clip free here. Straighten it up. Yikes. Here goes. Nope. Didn't do it. Okay. What went wrong? Went wrong again. Ew, am I gonna have to do this with... I really don't want to do this with, it's just a little bit off. With, what you call it? So, I will, if I have to. But it will not happen today. This is way too close to bedtime. No. Okay. Well, we tried. Again, is this too thick or am I doing it wrong? It does go through all the way, but it looks like it takes a little move on us. I'm also very stubborn and I want this to work. It's going to the side on me. Ugh. That's funny. Not like how it's stuck enough now that's hard to get out. Let me think. What if we don't do, well, we have to do the fancy paper. We can't not do the fancy paper. The other way I've been doing it lately is using my, what's it called? Crocodile, and making the holes quite big. Let's try it one time without the fancy stuff. Ew, not fun. Nobody likes it without the fancy stuff. Okay, I'm crying uncle. There's probably too much paper. Except this one won't come out. That's, oh, the irony. Okay. And that hurt my hand. So, we will have to, call it on that one. So this will do little amounts of paper, it looks like. Bummer. But, you know, you don't know till you try. And it did work for a tiny book. So, I will keep it in mind for tiny projects. That does mean we will have to come back to this. One thing I could also do, smart me, is, I was going to say keep a page of this out and start writing on it. But I'll write some, we're junk journalers, right? I'll write something and then we can stick it on. So we will have to come back to this. So this will have to be part one. We tried something, it didn't work. We're gonna have to pivot, that's okay. I like learning new things. I will sleep on this because I want to decide if I want to do the kind of binding where you tape it, and I don't sew at all, because the pushing really hard. My fingers, I just found those buttons on my table. I'll have to think about it. So, thanks for hanging out with me for this little experiment. This little staple board did work for a small book. If you didn't see my other video, I'll link that video below. It did work for a cute little one. Where's my cute little one? So I'll have to keep experimenting. It worked with this one, but I did do 2 small signatures in a small book. So maybe it's not for the big projects. To be fair, they advertised it for like card making if you wanted to put like thick things on your card that might be in the middle of the card. Anyway, it wasn't very expensive, so that's okay. All right, have a great night and I will see you again soon. Okay, take care, bye.